Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English in Minutes 2.0. I'm Emma, your host for today, and I'm truly so happy to have you here with me. If you are new here, let me warmly welcome you. This is a calm and supportive space where you can improve your English, step by step, without pressure, without stress, just simple, clear, and consistent practice. And yes, we upload a new English learning video every single day to help you grow faster and more confidently. In today's lesson, we are going to explore something very powerful, something that can completely change the way you understand English. Today, you will learn how to understand almost any English word without needing a dictionary. Yes, you heard that right. Without stopping, without translating, and without breaking your flow, we are going to train your mind to naturally understand meaning through context, through patterns, and through advanced English phrases that native speakers use every day. You will start to notice how words behave inside sentences, how meaning becomes clear, even when you don't know every single word, and how your brain can actually guess, understand, and respond in real time. Throughout this lesson, we will go through many real-life examples, simple situations, daily conversations, and powerful sentence patterns that will help you build advanced English. Step by step, you will not only improve your listening skills, but also your speaking and your thinking in English. Imagine this. You are listening to someone speaking English, and instead of getting stuck on one unknown word, you keep moving. You still understand the message. You still follow the salty conversation, and you feel calm, confident, and in control. That is exactly the skill we are going to build together today. By the end of this session, you will feel more comfortable with unknown words. You will understand how to use advanced phrases naturally, and most importantly, you will start thinking in English instead of translating every word in your head. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss a new lesson, because small daily practice creates powerful long-term results. So, take a deep breath, relax your mind, maybe grab a pen and paper if you like, and let's begin this journey together. Now, I imagine this moment. You're listening to someone speaking English, maybe in a video, maybe in a conversation, and suddenly, you hear a word you don't know. Your mind stops, your attention breaks, and you feel like you missed everything after that word. This is something almost every English learner experiences. And it's not because you are not good at English. It's because you were trained to focus on individual words instead of understanding the full meaning. Today, we are going to change that habit slowly, gently, and effectively. Let's start with a very simple idea. Meaning does not come from one word. Meaning comes from the whole sentence, the situation, the feeling, and the context around that word. For example, listen to this sentence carefully. I was running late, so I grabbed a quick bite before heading out. See? Now, maybe you don't know the phrase, grabbed a quick bite, but you can still understand the situation. The person was late. They needed food, so they ate something quickly. You see, you didn't need a dictionary. Your brain already understood the meaning. This is the skill we are building, trusting your brain to understand context instead of stopping for every new word. Let's try another example. She looked exhausted after pulling an all-nighter. Maybe pulling an all-nighter is new for you, but look at the sentence. She looked exhausted, so something happened that made her very tired. Your brain connects it. Maybe she didn't sleep. Maybe she worked all night. And yes, that is exactly what it means. You are already understanding English, even when you don't know every word. Now, let's go a little deeper. When native speakers talk, they don't think about each word separately. They think in chunks, in phrases, in natural expressions. So instead of learning one word at a time, we will train your mind to learn phrases, because phrases carry meaning. Listen to this. I'll figure it out. Even if you don't know the word figure, you can understand the feeling. The person is confident. They will find a solution. Now, so you repeat after me, slowly. I'll figure it out. Again. I'll figure it out. Feel the rhythm. Feel the confidence in this phrase. This is how fluency grows, not from memorizing words, but from feeling language. Let's continue with another real-life situation. Imagine you are talking to a friend, and they say, "Don't worry, things will fall into place." Maybe you don't fully understand "fall into place," but the tone is calm, supportive, so you understand. Everything will be okay. Everything will work out. Now, repeat after me. Things will fall into place. Good. One more time. Things will fall into place. You are not translating. You are understanding directly. Now, let's practice something together. I will give you a sentence, and I want you to focus on the overall meaning, not the difficult word. Listen carefully. He didn't mean to snap at you. He was just under a lot of pressure. Maybe snap at you is new. But look at the situation. He didn't mean to do something. He was under pressure. So maybe he spoke angrily, quickly, or rudely. That is exactly the meaning. Now, see, repeat. He didn't mean to snap at you. Again. He didn't mean to snap at you. You see what's happening here. Your brain is learning to guess meaning naturally. And this is not guessing randomly. This is intelligent understanding, based on context, tone, and experience. Let's go even further. Sometimes, one sentence gives you a strong clue, but sometimes you need 2 or 3 sentences to understand a word. Listen to this. I wasn't sure at first, but after thinking it through, I decided to go for it. Maybe go for it is new, but look at the process. Not sure, thinking, then decision. So go for it means take action, try it, now. Repeat after me. I decided to go for it. Again. I decided to go for it. Feel how natural that sounds. Now. See, let's slow down and reflect for a moment. You don't need to understand every word. You need to understand the message. This is the mindset shift that will make your English stronger. Let's try another practice together. I will say a short situation, and you try to feel the meaning. She brushed it off and kept going. Maybe brushed it off is unfamiliar, but the action is clear. Something happened, but she ignored it. She continued. Now. You repeat. She brushed it off. Again. She brushed it off. Very good. Now. So imagine this in your daily life. Someone criticizes you and you say, I'll just brush it off. You are using natural English without thinking too much. Let's continue building more understanding. Listen, I'm just trying to make ends meet. Maybe this sounds difficult, but the feeling is clear. Trying, effort, maybe money, maybe survival. So it means trying to live, trying to earn enough. Repeat after me. I'm just trying to make ends meet. Again. I'm just trying to make ends meet. You are learning advanced English. Naturally. Now, see, let's connect this to a deeper strategy. When you hear a new word, don't panic. Instead, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What is happening in this situation? What emotion do I feel from the speaker? What could logically fit here? These 3 questions will guide your understanding. Let's practice this together. He finally came to terms with the situation. What is happening? Acceptance. What is the feeling? Calm. Maybe after struggle. So, came to terms with means accepted, understood, moved on. Repeat. He came to terms with it. Again. He came to terms with it. Excellent. Now, you're not learning like a beginner. You're thinking like an advanced learner. Let's continue. Sometimes, English uses expressions that don't make sense literally, but your brain still understands them through context. For example, that idea doesn't sit right with me. Maybe sit right is confusing, but the feeling is clear. Discomfort, disagreement. Repeat. It doesn't sit right with me. Again. It doesn't sit right with me. Now, imagine saying this in a conversation. It feels natural, confident, fluent. Let's go deeper again. I'll keep you posted. Maybe you don't know posted, but you understand. Communication, update, information. Repeat. I'll keep you posted. Again. I'll keep you posted. This is how native phrases work. They carry meaning as a whole. Now, let's practice a slightly longer situation. I didn't expect things to turn out this way, but I'm glad they did. Maybe turn out is new, but the feeling is clear. Result, outcome. Repeat. Things turned out well. Again. Things turned out well. You are building fluency, step by step. Now, pause for a moment. Take a breath. And notice something. You are understanding everything without using a dictionary. That is the power of context. And we are just getting started. Now, let's go a little deeper and begin to train your brain in a more powerful way. Because understanding without a dictionary is not just about guessing. It's about building a system inside your mind, a system that recognizes patterns, emotions, and situations automatically. Imagine you are watching a movie, and a character says, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Maybe this sounds confusing at first, but let's slow down together. The person is thinking, trying. Maybe something is difficult to understand, so your brain connects it. Wrap my head around it means trying to understand something complicated. You didn't. Anna translate. You felt the meaning. Now, repeat after me. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Again. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Very good. Feel the rhythm. Feel how natural it sounds. Now, let's continue with another situation. You don't have to go out of your way to help me. Maybe go out of your way is new, but look at the feeling. Someone is saying, you don't need to make extra effort. You don't need to do something difficult, just for me. Now is repeat. You don't have to go out of your way. Again, you don't have to go out of your way. Excellent. You see, every time you focus on the situation, the meaning becomes clearer. Now, let's build a stronger habit. Instead of asking, what does this word mean? Start asking, what is happening here? This small shift will completely change your learning. Let's practice this idea together. I just need to get this off my chest. What is happening? Someone wants to speak, to express something emotional, something they were holding inside. So, get this off my chest means to share something, to release a feeling. Repeat after me. I need to get this off my chest. Again. I need to get this off my chest. You are not memorizing. You are experiencing the language. Now, let's continue. She tends to overthink on things. Maybe tends to is new, but the meaning is clear. It's a habit, something she often does. Repeat. She tends to overthink. Again. She tends to overthink. Good. Now, let's bring this into daily life. You can say, I tend to wake up early. I tend to check my phone too much. You are using advanced English naturally. Let's go further. I didn't see that coming. Even if you don't know coming, the feeling is surprise. Something unexpected happened. Repeat. I didn't see that coming. Again. I didn't see that coming. This is real English, used every day. Now, let's slow down and practice a deeper understanding. Sometimes, meaning is hidden in tone, not just words. Listen carefully. Yeah, that worked out great. Depending on tone, this can be positive or sarcastic. If the voice is happy, it means success. If the voice is frustrated, it means something went wrong. So, understanding English is not just about words, it's about feeling. Let's repeat it in a positive tone. That worked out great. Now, in a slightly frustrated tone. That worked out great. Feel the difference. This is advanced understanding. Now, let's continue with more real-life phrases. I'm just trying to keep up. Maybe keep up is new, but the situation is clear. Trying not to fall behind. Trying to match others. Repeat. I'm trying to keep up. Again. I'm trying to keep up. Very good. Now, imagine you are in a fast conversation. Instead of stopping, you stay calm. You follow the meaning. This is your goal. Let's move forward. It's not a big deal. Simple, but powerful. Even if you don't know deal, the feeling is clear. Something is not important. Something is okay. Repeat. It's not a big deal. Again. It's not a big deal. You are building confidence. Now, let's practice. A slightly more complex sentence. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Maybe getting myself into sounds confusing, but think about it. Entering a situation, maybe a difficult one. So it means, I didn't know what situation I was entering. Repeat. I had no idea what I was getting into. Again. I had no idea what I was getting into. Excellent. Now, let's go deeper into pattern recognition. English often uses similar structures, and once you understand one, you can understand many. For example, I'm used to it. She's used to working late. They're used to the noise. Even if used to is new, you can see the pattern, familiarity, something normal. Repeat. I'm used to it. Again. I'm used to it. Now. Try. I'm used to waking up early. You are creating your own sentences. This is how fluency grows. Now. Let's continue. I don't feel like going out today. Maybe feel like is new, but the meaning is clear. Desire, mood. Repeat. I don't feel like it. Again. I don't feel like it. Very natural. Now. Imagine this in real life. A friend asks you to go out, and you say, I don't feel like it today. You are speaking naturally, without thinking too much. Let's continue. I'll take care of it. Even if take care is new, the feeling is responsibility, solving a problem. Repeat. I'll take care of it. Again. I'll take care of it. Good. Now, let's build a small story together. Listen carefully. I didn't feel like going out, but my friend insisted, so I went anyway. And honestly, it turned out better than I expected. Maybe some phrases are new, but you understand the story. Now, repeat slowly. It turned out better than I expected. Again. It turned out better than I expected. You are following meaning, not words. Now, let's go deeper again. He's been going through a tough time. Maybe going through is new, but the situation is clear. Experiencing difficulty. Repeat. He's going through a tough time. Again. He's going through a tough time. You are understanding emotional language. Now, let's continue. I'll get back to you on that. Maybe get back is new, but the meaning is clear. Respond later. Repeat. I'll get back to you. Again. I'll get back to you. Very useful phrase. Now, let's pause again. Take a breath. And notice, you are understanding dozens of phrases without using a dictionary. That means your brain is adapting. Now, let's challenge you a little more. I don't want to jump to conclusions. Maybe jump to conclusions is new, but think, making a decision too quickly, without enough information. Repeat. I don't want to jump to conclusions. Again. I don't want to jump to conclusions. You are now thinking, like a fluent speaker. Now, let's continue. With a powerful idea. Understanding English is not about knowing every word. It's about trusting your ability to understand, meaning through context, through emotion, and through patterns. And the more you practice, like this, the more natural it becomes. Now, let's continue and take your understanding to an even deeper level. Because now, you are no longer just listening, you are starting to think in English. And this is where real transformation begins. Imagine you are in a conversation and someone says, I just need a moment to clear my head. Maybe the phrase, clear my head, is new, but the feeling is very clear. The person feels overwhelmed, maybe stressed, and they want a little time to relax, to think, to reset their mind. You didn't translate. You felt the situation. Now, repeat after me. I need to clear my head. Again. I need to clear my head. Very natural. Very human. Now, let's move forward. There's something that's been bothering me. Even if bothering is unfamiliar, you can feel it. Something is disturbing. Something is not comfortable. Repeat. It's been bothering me. Again. It's been bothering me. Good. Now, let's build a connection between phrases. When you combine these ideas, you start speaking like a native. Listen carefully. It's been bothering me, so I just need some time to clear my head. You understand everything, even without knowing every word perfectly. This is fluency. Now, let's continue with another real-life phrase. I'm still working on it. This is very common and very useful. Even if working on feels simple, the meaning is powerful. It shows progress, effort, and patience. Repeat. I'm still working on it. Again. I'm still working on it. Now, imagine someone asks you, have you finished it? And you say, I'm still working on it. That is natural English. Let's continue. I didn't quite catch that. Maybe catch. Here feels strange, but you understand. Hearing, understanding. Maybe something was missed. Repeat. I didn't quite catch that. Again. I didn't quite catch that. This is a very important phrase because it helps you continue conversations. Now, let's go deeper. Sometimes you don't understand everything, and that's okay. Instead of stopping, you keep going. You keep listening. Let's practice that idea. I might be wrong, but I think he meant something else. Even if meant is unclear, the feeling is guessing, interpreting. Repeat. I might be wrong. Again. I might be wrong. Very useful. Very polite. Now, let's continue building your understanding system. When you hear a sentence, your brain looks for clues. Let's try this together. She ended up staying longer than expected. Maybe ended up is new, but the result is clear. She stayed longer. So, ended up means the final result. Repeat. She ended up staying. Again. She ended up staying. Excellent. Now, let's connect this to daily life. I ended up waking up late. I ended up missing the bus. You are creating meaning, naturally. Let's continue. I'm not really into that. Maybe into is confusing, but the feeling is preference, interest. Repeat. I'm not into that. Again. I'm not into that. Now, on imagine, someone asks you to watch a movie, and you say, I'm not really into horror movies. That sounds fluent, simple, and natural. Now, let's go deeper into emotional understanding. He took it the wrong way. Maybe took it is unclear, but the situation is clear. Misunderstanding. Repeat. He took it the wrong way. Again. He took it the wrong way. You are understanding relationships, communication, and emotions. Now, let's build a short scenario. I didn't mean to upset him, but he took it the wrong way. You understand the full situation. Now, line repeat. He took it the wrong way. Again. He took it the wrong way. Good. Now, let's continue. I'm just trying to sort things out. Maybe sort out is new, but think, organize, solve, understand, repeat. I'm trying to sort things out. Again, I'm trying to sort things out. Very natural phrase. Now, let's go further. It's starting to make sense. Even if make sense feels abstract, the meaning is clear. Understanding, clarity. Repeat. It's starting to make sense. Again, it's starting to make sense. This is exactly what is happening right now. Your English is starting to make sense. Now, let's challenge you a little more. I don't want to make a big deal out of it. Maybe make a big deal is new, but you feel it, exaggerate, overreact. Repeat. I don't want to make a big deal. Again. I don't want to make a big deal. Very useful in real conversations. Now, let's continue building fluency. I'll think it over. Maybe think it over is new, but the meaning is clear. Consider, reflect, repeat. I'll think it over. Again. I'll think it over. Now, imagine someone asks you for a decision, and you say, I'll think it over. Simple, natural, and fluent. Let's continue. I'm trying to make the most of it. Maybe make the most of is new, but the feeling is positive, using something in the best way. Repeat. I'm making the most of it. Again. I'm making the most of it. Now. Bring this into your life. I'm making the most of my time. I'm making the most of this opportunity. You are thinking in English. Now, let's go deeper again. I can't quite put it into words. Maybe this sounds complex, but the meaning is clear. Difficulty, expressing something. Repeat. I can't put it into words. Again. I can't put it into words. Very emotional, very natural. Now, let's connect everything we've learned so far. Listen to this small story. I wasn't really into it at first, but I kept going, and eventually, it started to make sense. I'm still working on it, but I'm making the most of it. You understand everything, and that is your progress. Now, pause again. Take a deep breath and notice something important. You are no longer afraid of unknown words. You are learning to flow with the language, and this flow is what creates fluency. Now, let's continue. And this time, we are going to strengthen something even more important. Your ability to stay calm when you don't understand everything, because this is the real secret behind fluent speakers. Fluent speakers don't understand every word. They understand enough, and they keep going. So now, I want you to imagine this situation. You are listening to someone speaking English, and suddenly, there are 2 or 3 words you don't know. Before, you might stop, feel confused, maybe even frustrated. But now, you do something different. You stay relaxed, you keep listening, and you trust that meaning will come. Let's practice this together. I was caught off guard when they asked me that question. Maybe caught off guard is new, but let's feel it. Something unexpected happened. Maybe surprising. Maybe uncomfortable. So the meaning becomes clear. Repeat after me. I was caught off guard. Again. I was caught off guard. Very natural. Now, let's move forward. I didn't have time to think it through. Maybe think it through is new, but the situation is clear. Not enough time to consider everything carefully. Repeat. I didn't think it through. Again. I didn't think it through. Now, let's combine these ideas. I was caught off guard, so I didn't think it through. You understand everything without needing a dictionary. This is exactly how real conversations work. Now, let's continue. I just went along with it. Maybe went along with is new, but the feeling is clear. You accepted something. You didn't resist. Repeat. I went along with it. Again. I went along with it. Very useful phrase. Now, imagine your daily life. Your friend suggests a plan, and you say, I wasn't sure, but I just went along with it. That sounds natural, fluent, real. Now, let's go deeper. It kind of slipped my mind. Maybe slipped my mind sounds strange, but think. Forgetting something. Unintentionally. Repeat. It slipped my mind. Again. It slipped my mind. Now. Imagine someone asks you, did you call him? And you say, oh, it slipped my mind. That is real English. Let's continue. I didn't mean to come across that way. Maybe come across is new, but the situation is clear. How something appears, how it feels to others. Repeat. I didn't mean to come across that way. Again. I didn't mean to come across that way. This is a very important phrase for communication. Now, let's continue building deeper understanding. I'm trying to keep things under control. Even if under control is new, the meaning is clear. Managing a situation. Staying calm. Repeat. I'm keeping things under control. Again. I'm keeping things under control. You are now understanding control, emotion, responsibility. Now. Let's move forward. I'm not sure how this is going to play out. Maybe play out is unfamiliar, but think about it. How something will happen, how it will end. Repeat. How will this play out? Again. How will this play out? Very advanced, very natural. Now, let's connect phrases again. I wasn't sure how it would play out, but I just went along with it. You understand the story. Now, repeat. I just went along with it. Again. I just went along with it. Good. Now, let's continue. I need to figure things out. We saw figure out before. Now, we use it again because repetition builds mastery. Repeat. I need to figure things out. Again. I need to figure things out. Now. Some bring it into your life. I need to figure out my schedule. I need to figure out what to do next. You are using English naturally. Let's continue. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Even if overcomplicate is new. You understand. Making something more difficult than necessary. Repeat. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Again. I don't want to overcomplicate things. Very useful mindset. Now, let's go deeper. I'm starting to get the hang of it. Maybe get the hang of it is new, but the meaning is clear. Learning, improving, becoming comfortable. Repeat. I'm getting the hang of it. Again. I'm getting the hang of it. Now, say this to yourself. I'm getting the hang of English. Feel that confidence. Now. Let's continue. It didn't turn out the way I expected. We saw turn out before. Now, We deepen it. Repeat. It didn't turn out the way I expected. Again. It didn't turn out the way I expected. You are recognizing patterns. Now, let's continue. I'll deal with it when the time comes. Maybe deal with is new, but the meaning is clear. Handle, manage. Repeat. I'll deal with it. Again. I'll deal with it. Very confident phrase. Now, let's build a longer thought. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I'll just deal with it when the time comes. You understand everything. Now, repeat. I'll deal with it when the time comes. Again. I'll deal with it when the time comes. Excellent. Now. Gee, let's go deeper again. I've been meaning to talk to you. Maybe been meaning to is new. But think. Wanting to do something for some time. Repeat. I've been meaning to talk to you. Again. I've been meaning to talk to you. Very common in conversations. Now, let's continue. It's been on my mind lately. Even if on my mind is new, the feeling is clear. Thinking about something often. Repeat. It's been on my mind. Again. It's been on my mind. Now, let's connect. I've been meaning to talk to you. It's been on my mind. You understand the emotion. Now, repeat. It's been on my mind. Again. It's been on my mind. Good. Now. Pause again. Take a slow breath. And notice something important. You are not translating anymore. You are understanding directly. And this is the moment where your English becomes natural. Now. Let's move even deeper and start building something truly powerful inside your mind. Your ability to understand meaning instantly, without effort, without hesitation, and without translating. At this stage, your brain is already changing. You are no longer focusing on individual words. You are starting to recognize complete ideas, complete emotions, complete situations. And now, we will strengthen this skill even more through deeper patterns and richer expressions. Imagine someone says, I just need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Maybe step back or bigger picture feels new. But let's slow down. The person wants distance, space, perspective. They want to understand everything, not just a small part. So your brain understands, without needing definitions. Now, and repeat after me. I need to take a step back. Again. I need to take a step back. And now, look at the bigger picture. Again. Look at the bigger picture. Very powerful, very advanced. Now, let's continue. It's easier said than done. Maybe this sounds confusing at first, but feel the meaning. Something sounds simple, but in reality, it is difficult. Repeat. It's easier said than done. Again. It's easier said than done. This is a very common phrase. Now, imagine your life. Learning English. It's easier said than done, but you are doing it, step by step. Let's continue. I'm trying to stay on track. Maybe stay on track is new, but the feeling is clear. Staying focused, continuing in the right direction. Repeat. I'm staying on track. Again. I'm staying on track. Now. Say it for yourself. I'm staying on track with my English. Good. Now, let's go deeper. It's starting to fall into place. We saw this idea before, but now we strengthen it. Repeat. It's falling into place. Again, it's falling into place. That is exactly what is happening. Your understanding is becoming clear. Now, let's continue. I don't want to rush into anything. Maybe rush into is new, but the meaning is clear. Acting too quickly, without thinking. Repeat. I don't want to rush into it. Again, I don't want to rush into it. Very useful in real life. Now, say, let's continue building your fluency. I'm trying to take it one step at a time. Even if this is new, the feeling is clear, slow progress, patience. Repeat. One step at a time. Again. One step at a time. This is your journey. Now, let's go deeper into emotional language. I didn't know how to react at first. Maybe react is new, but the meaning is clear. Respond emotionally. Repeat. I didn't know how to react. Again. I didn't know how to react. Now, imagine real situations. Something unexpected happens, and you say, I didn't know how to react. That is natural English. Let's continue. It took me a while to get used to it. We saw used to. Now, we expand it. Repeat. It took me a while. Again. It took me a while. And now. To get used to it. Again. To get used to it. Now. Combine. It took me a while to get used to it. Very natural. Now, let's continue. I'm still trying to find my way. Maybe find my way is new, but feel it. Searching, learning, growing. Repeat. I'm trying to find my way. Again. I'm trying to find my way. This is your English journey. Now, let's move further. It didn't go as planned. Simple, but powerful. Even without knowing planned, you understand expectations, reality, difference. Repeat. It didn't go as planned. Again. It didn't go as planned. Now, let's continue. I had to deal with it on my own. Maybe on my own is new. But the meaning is clear. Alone. Independently. Repeat. On my own. Again. On my own. Now. Oh, imagine. I learned English on my own. That sounds confident. Let's continue. I didn't want to give up. Very simple, but very strong. Repeat. I didn't want to give up. Again. I didn't want to give up. Now. Say it again, with feeling. I didn't want to give up. This is your mindset. Now, let's go deeper again. It made me realize something important. Maybe realize is new, but the meaning is clear. Understanding deeply. Repeat. It made me realize. Again. It made me realize. Now, connect this to your learning. This practice is making me realize I can understand without translating. You are growing now. Let's continue. I'm slowly getting better at it. Even if getting better is simple, the meaning is powerful. Progress. Repeat. I'm getting better. Again. I'm getting better. Now, say it with confidence. I'm getting better at English. Very good. Now, let's bring everything together. Listen to this longer flow. At first, I didn't know how to react. It didn't go as planned, and it took me a while to get used to it. But I didn't want to give up, so I kept going, one step at a time, and now, it's finally starting to fall into place. You understand everything. You feel the story. And this is fluency. Now, pause again. Take a deep breath. And notice something. You are no longer afraid of English. You are starting to trust yourself. And that trust is what will make you fluent. Now, let's go even further and begin to refine something very subtle, but very powerful. Your ability to understand meaning even when sentences feel fast, complex, or slightly unclear. Because in real life, people don't always speak slowly. They don't always use simple words. And they don't always explain everything clearly. But even then, fluent listeners still understand. Why? Because they don't chase every word. They follow the direction of the message. So now, we are going to train your mind to follow direction instead of details. Let's begin with this sentence. I wasn't exactly thrilled about it, but I decided to give it a shot anyway. Maybe thrilled or give it a shot feels unfamiliar. But the direction is clear. Not very excited, but still trying. So your brain understands the meaning without stopping. Now, dear, repeat after me. I wasn't exactly thrilled. Again. I wasn't exactly thrilled. And now. I decided to give it a shot. Again. I decided to give it a shot. Very natural. Now, let's continue. It didn't really live up to my expectations. Maybe live up to is new, but the feeling is clear. Something was not as good as expected. Repeat. It didn't live up to my expectations. Again. It didn't live up to my expectations. Good. Now, let's move forward. I'm still trying to figure out what went wrong. Even if went wrong is new, the direction is clear. Something failed. Something didn't work. Repeat. What went wrong? Again. What went wrong? Now, cause imagine using this in your life. I don't know what went wrong. That sounds natural. Let's continue. I didn't see it that way at first. Maybe see it that way is new, but the meaning is clear. Perspective. Understanding. Repeat. I didn't see it that way. Again. I didn't see it that way. Now. Let's continue building deeper understanding. It kind of caught me by surprise. Maybe caught me by surprise feels similar to something we learned. And yes, your brain connects patterns. Repeat. It caught me by surprise. Again. It caught me by surprise. You are recognizing language patterns. Now, let's go deeper. I wasn't really paying attention. Even if paying attention is new, the meaning is clear. Focus, awareness. Repeat. I wasn't paying attention. Again. I wasn't paying attention. Now. Let's continue. I guess it just didn't cross my mind. Maybe cross my mind is new. But thinking, remembering. So it means, I didn't think about it. Repeat. It didn't cross my mind. Again. It didn't cross my mind. Very useful. Now, let's connect ideas again. I wasn't paying attention, so it didn't cross my mind. You understand everything. Now, repeat. It didn't cross my mind. Again. It didn't cross my mind. Excellent. Now, let's go further. I'll try to make up for it. Maybe make up for is new, but the feeling is clear. Correct a mistake. Do something to improve. Repeat. I'll make up for it. Again. I'll make up for it. Now. Imagine real life. I forgot, but I'll make up for it. That sounds natural. Let's continue. I'm not sure if it's worth it. Even if worth it is new, the meaning is clear. Value, importance. Repeat. Is it worth it? Again. Is it worth it? Very common phrase. Now, let's continue. I didn't want to miss out. Maybe miss out is new, but think. Losing an opportunity. Repeat. I didn't want to miss out. Again. I didn't want to miss out. Now. Bring it into your life. I don't want to miss out on this chance. You are speaking naturally. Let's continue. I'm trying to stay positive. Simple, but important. Repeat. I'm staying positive. Again. I'm staying positive. Now. Let's go deeper. It's all part of the process. Maybe part of the process is new, but the meaning is clear. Necessary steps. Journey. Repeat. It's part of the process. Again. It's part of the process. This is your journey. Now, let's continue. I didn't expect it to be this challenging. Even if challenging is new, the feeling is clear. Difficulty, effort. Repeat. I didn't expect this. Again. I didn't expect this. Now, let's connect everything. I didn't expect it to be this challenging, but I'm trying to stay positive. It's all part of the process, and I don't want to miss out. You understand the full message. Now, repeat. It's all part of the process. Again, it's all part of the process. Very good. Now. Let's go deeper one more time. I'll take it as it comes. Maybe take it as it comes is new, but think. Accepting situations, not worrying too much. Repeat. I'll take it as it comes. Again. I'll take it as it comes. This is a very calm, confident mindset. Now, pause again. Take a slow breath and notice. You are understanding faster. You are reacting naturally, and you're no longer trying to translate every word. This is exactly how fluent speakers think. Now, let's continue and begin to sharpen one of the most advanced skills in language learning, your ability to predict meaning before a sentence even finishes. Yes, this is something fluent speakers do all the time. They don't wait for every word. They feel the direction. They anticipate what is coming next. And now, you are ready to build that skill. Let's start with this sentence. I thought it would be difficult, but it actually turned out to be. Even before the sentence ends, your brain is already guessing. Maybe easier, maybe better, maybe enjoyable. This is prediction. Now, complete it naturally. Much easier than I expected. Repeat after me. It turned out to be much easier. Again. It turned out to be much easier. Very good. Now, let's try another one. I didn't feel confident at first, but after some practice, your brain already predicts improvement, progress. I started to feel more comfortable. Repeat. I started to feel more comfortable. Again. I started to feel more comfortable. You are not waiting. You are predicting. Now, let's go deeper. She wasn't sure if it would work, but in the end, your brain expects a result. Everything worked out fine. Repeat. Everything worked out fine. Again. Everything worked out fine. This is how your brain connects meaning across sentences. Now, let's continue building this skill. I didn't understand it at first, but then, you can already feel it. Clarity is coming. It suddenly clicked. Maybe clicked is new, but the feeling is clear. Sudden understanding. Repeat. It suddenly clicked. Again. It suddenly clicked. Very powerful expression. Now, let's go further. I was about to give up, but something told me. Your brain predicts. Continue. Try again. To keep going. Repeat. To keep going. Again. To keep going. You are following meaning. Now, let's deepen your understanding even more. Sometimes, meaning is not direct. It is implied. Let's explore this. That didn't go too well. This sounds simple, but what does it really mean? It means something went badly. This is called soft language. Now, repeat. That didn't go too well. Again. That didn't go too well. Now, imagine someone says, it could have been better. This also means it was not good. Repeat. It could have been better. Again. It could have been better. You are now understanding hidden meaning. Now, let's continue. I'm not completely sure. This means uncertainty, doubt. Repeat. I'm not completely sure. Again. I'm not completely sure. Now, imagine a conversation. I'm not completely sure, but I think it might work. You understand the tone. Now, let's go deeper. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Maybe wait and see is new, but the meaning is clear. No decision yet. Future will decide. Repeat. We'll have to wait and see. Again. We'll have to wait and see. Very natural. Now, let's continue building fluency. I don't want to get my hopes up. Maybe get my hopes up is new, but think. Expecting something good, but being careful. Repeat. I don't want to get my hopes up. Again. I don't want to get my hopes up. Now. Imagine. I don't want to get my hopes up, but it looks promising. You understand the emotion. Now, let's continue. It's hard to say at this point. Even if at this point is new, the meaning is clear. Current moment, uncertainty. Repeat. It's hard to say. Again. It's hard to say. Very useful phrase. Now, let's go deeper. I'm just going with the flow. Maybe go with the flow is new, but the feeling is clear, relaxed, not forcing things. Repeat. I'm going with the flow. Again. I'm going with the flow. Now. Now say it for yourself. I'm going with the flow in my learning. Good. Now, let's continue. I'm trying to keep an open mind. Maybe open mind is new, but the meaning is clear, accepting new ideas. Repeat. I'm keeping an open mind. Again. I'm keeping an open mind. This is a powerful mindset. Now, let's connect everything. I'm not completely sure how this will turn out. It's hard to say at this point, but I'm keeping an open mind and just going with the flow. You understand everything. You feel the tone. You follow the meaning. And this is advanced understanding. Now, pause again. Take a deep breath and notice something. You are no longer just understanding English. You are thinking ahead, predicting, feeling, and that is what fluent speakers do. Now, see, let's continue and begin to develop something even more advanced. Your ability to understand meaning even when sentences are incomplete or when people don't say everything directly. Because in real conversations, people often leave things unsaid. They pause, they change direction, they speak in fragments, and yet, fluent listeners still understand. Why? Because they focus on intention, not just words. Let's experience this together. Imagine someone says, I mean, it's not like I didn't try, but this sentence is not complete. It feels broken, but you still understand. The person is explaining, maybe defending themselves, maybe feeling a little emotional. Now, repeat after me. It's not like I didn't try. Again. It's not like I didn't try. Very natural, very human. Now, let's continue. I was going to say something, but then I thought, maybe it's better not to. Even if this feels long, the meaning is clear. Hesitation, thinking, choosing silence. Repeat. Maybe it's better not to. Again. Maybe it's better not to. You are understanding intention. Now, let's go deeper. It's kinda hard to explain. Maybe kind of or hard to explain is new, but the feeling is clear. Difficulty expressing something. Repeat. It's hard to explain. Again. It's hard to explain. Now, imagine real life. Someone asks you something, and you say, it's hard to explain. That is natural English. Let's continue. I didn't really think much of it at the time. Maybe think much of it is new, but the meaning is clear, not important, not serious. Repeat. I didn't think much of it. Again. I didn't think much of it. Now. Let's continue building deeper understanding. But looking back, I probably should have. Even if this is incomplete, you understand. Reflection, regret, repeat. Looking back. Again. Looking back. This is how people speak. Naturally. Now. Let's go further. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Maybe meant to be is new, but feel it, acceptance. Something didn't happen. And that's okay. Repeat. It wasn't meant to be. Again. It wasn't meant to be. Very emotional. Very common. Now, let's continue. I don't know. It just feels off. Maybe feels off is new, but the meaning is clear. Something doesn't feel right. Repeat. It feels off. Again. It feels off. Now, imagine saying, this doesn't feel right. Same idea. Now, let's go deeper. I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe this sounds difficult, but think, something is wrong, but you don't know exactly what. Repeat. I can't put my finger on it. Again. I can't put my finger on it. Very advanced. Very natural. Now. Let's connect ideas again. I don't know. Something feels off. I just can't put my finger on it. You understand everything. Now, repeat. I can't put my finger on it. Again. I can't put my finger on it. Good. Now, let's continue. It kind of makes you wonder. Maybe makes you wonder is new, but the meaning is clear. Thinking deeply, questioning. Repeat. It makes you wonder. Again, it makes you wonder. Now, imagine. It makes you wonder what will happen next. You are think is in English. Let's continue. I don't know what to make of it. Maybe make of it is new, but think, understand, interpret, repeat. I don't know what to make of it. Again. I don't know what to make of it. Very useful phrase. Now, let's go deeper again. It's not exactly what I had in mind. Maybe had in mind is new, but the meaning is clear. Expectation, idea, repeat. It's not what I had in mind. Again, it's not what I had in mind. Now, imagine real life. This isn't what I had in mind. That sounds fluent. Now, let's continue. I guess I'll just have to deal with it. We saw deal with. Now, we use it again. Repeat. I'll deal with it. Again. I'll deal with it. Very natural. Now, let's go deeper. I didn't realize how much it mattered. Even if mattered is new, the feeling is clear. Importance. Value. Repeat. It mattered. Again. It mattered. Now. Connect. I didn't realize how much it mattered. You understand the emotion. Now. Let's bring everything together. Listen carefully. I didn't think much of it at the time, but looking back, I realize it mattered more than I thought. It's kind of hard to explain, but something about it just feels off, and I can't quite put my finger on it. You understand everything. You feel the meaning. You follow the emotion. And this is real English understanding. Now, pause again. Take a slow breath and notice. You are now understanding incomplete sentences, hidden meanings, emotional tones. You are not just learning English. You are living it. Now. See, let's continue and move into a very powerful stage of your learning where you begin to understand English not just from words or phrases, but from the entire situation, the environment, the energy of the conversation. Because in real life, communication is bigger than language. It includes tone, timing, pauses, and even silence. And when you learn to read all of these together, understanding becomes almost automatic. Let's begin with this situation. Imagine someone says slowly, "Well, I guess that's one way to look at it." Now, this sentence is interesting because it doesn't directly agree and it doesn't directly disagree. But you can feel it. Maybe hesitation, maybe polite disagreement. This is how English works. Now, and repeat after me. That's one way to look at it. Again. That's one way to look at it. Very subtle, very natural. Now, let's continue. I mean, I see what you're saying, but even without finishing the sentence, you understand. The person is about to disagree. Politely, repeat. I see what you're saying. Again, I see what you're saying. This is a very useful phrase. Now, imagine real life. I see what you're saying, but I'm not sure I agree. That sounds fluent, calm, respectful. Now, let's go deeper. It's not that simple. Maybe this sounds basic, but the meaning is strong. Complexity, disagreement. Repeat. It's not that simple. Again. It's not that simple. Now. Imagine someone gives you advice, and you say, "It's not that simple." That feels natural. Let's continue. I get where you're coming from. Maybe where you're coming from is new, but the meaning is clear. Understanding someone's perspective. Repeat. I get where you're coming from. Again. I get where you're coming from. This is advanced communication. Now, let's connect ideas. I get where you're coming from, but it's not that simple. You understand both agreement and disagreement. Now, repeat. I get where you're coming from. Again. I get where you're coming from. Very good. Now, let's go further. It depends on how you look at it. Maybe depends on is new, but the meaning is clear. Different perspectives. Repeat. It depends. Again. It depends. Now. Imagine real life. Is it good or bad? It depends. That sounds natural. Let's continue. I'm not entirely convinced. Maybe convinced is new, but the meaning is clear. Doubt, not fully believing. Repeat. I'm not convinced. Again. I'm not convinced. Now, let's continue. I might have misunderstood. Even if misunderstood is new, the meaning is clear. Maybe I didn't understand correctly. Repeat. I might have misunderstood. Again. I might have misunderstood. Very useful in conversations. Now, let's go deeper. Let me think about that for a second. Maybe this is simple, but the function is powerful. Buying time, thinking. Repeat. Let me think. Again. Let me think. Now, say imagine a conversation. Someone asks you something, and you say, let me think about that. You stay calm. You stay fluent. Now, let's continue. I'm not quite sure how to put this. Maybe put this is new, but the meaning is clear. Expressing an idea carefully. Repeat. I'm not sure how to put this. Again. I'm not sure how to put this. Very natural phrase. Now, let's go further. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but we saw this earlier. Now, we use it in real conversation. Repeat. I don't want to jump to conclusions. Again. I don't want to jump to conclusions. This shows careful thinking. Now, let's continue. At the end of the day. Maybe this sounds strange, but the meaning is clear. Final thought. Conclusion. Repeat. At the end of the day. Again. At the end of the day. Now. See, imagine. At the end of the day, it's your decision. That sounds fluent. Now, let's go deeper again. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. Maybe how it goes is new, but the meaning is clear. Future outcome. Repeat. We'll see how it goes. Again. We'll see how it goes. Very natural. Now, let's bring everything together. Listen carefully. I see what you're saying, and I get where you're coming from, but I'm not entirely convinced. It's not that simple, and at the end of the day, I think we'll just have to see how it goes. You understand everything. You feel the tone. You follow the intention. This is advanced English. Now, for a pause again. Take a deep breath and notice something. You are now understanding conversations, not just sentences. You are reading tone, intention, and emotion. And this is what makes you truly fluent. Now, let's continue and step into one of the most powerful shifts you can make as an English learner. Learning to trust your first understanding instead of doubting it. Because many learners Even when they understand something correctly, they stop. They question themselves. They go back. And they lose the flow. But fluent speakers don't do that. They trust their first impression, and they keep moving forward. So now, we are going to train your mind to trust what it already understands. Let's begin with this sentence. I guess it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Maybe some words feel unclear, but your brain already understands. Something becomes logical after thinking. Now, repeat after me. It makes sense. Again. It makes sense. Now, say the full idea. It kind of makes sense. Good. Now let's continue. I'm not sure why, but it just feels right. Maybe feels right is new, but you understand. Something seems correct, even without full explanation. Repeat. It feels right. Again. It feels right. This is intuition. Now, let's go deeper. I don't know how to explain it, but I just know. This is very natural English. It shows feeling, confidence, even without full explanation. Repeat. I just know. Again. I just know. Very simple, very powerful. Now, let's continue. It didn't seem like a big deal at first. Even if seem is new, the meaning is clear. Appearance, impression. Repeat. It didn't seem like a big deal. Again. It didn't seem like a big deal. Now, let's go further. But then things started to change. Maybe started to change is simple, but the meaning is clear. Transformation. Repeat. Things started to change. Again. Things started to change. Now, connect. It didn't seem like a big deal, but then things started to change. You follow the story. Now, let's continue. I should have seen it coming. Maybe seen it coming is familiar now. Your brain recognizes it. Repeat. I should have seen it coming. Again. I should have seen it coming. You are building memory through patterns. Now, let's go deeper. I didn't realize what was happening at the time. Even if at the time is new, the meaning is clear. Past moment. Repeat. At the time. Again. At the time. Now, connect. I didn't realize it at the time. Very natural. Now. Let's continue. But now, it all makes sense. Simple, but powerful. Repeat. It all makes sense. Again. It all makes sense. Now, feel that. Because your English is starting to make sense. Let's continue. I guess everything happens for a reason. Maybe this is new, but the meaning is emotional. Acceptance, belief. Repeat. Everything happens for a reason. Again. Everything happens for a reason. Very common phrase. Now, let's go deeper. It just goes to show how things can change. Maybe goes to show is new, but the meaning is clear. It proves something. Repeat. It goes to show. Again. It goes to show. Now, imagine. It goes to show how important practice is. You are using advanced English. Now, let's continue. I didn't expect it to turn out this way. We saw turn out. Now. We deepen it again. Repeat. I didn't expect this. Again. I didn't expect this. Now, let's go further. But I'm glad it did. Simple, but meaningful. Repeat. I'm glad it did. Again. I'm glad it did. Now, connect. I didn't expect it, but I'm glad it did. You understand the emotion. Now, let's continue. I think I'm finally starting to understand. Even if finally is new, the feeling is clear. Progress, achievement. Repeat. I'm starting to understand. Again. I'm starting to understand. Now, say it again, with confidence. I'm starting to understand English. Very good. Now, let's go deeper again. I guess it just takes time. Maybe this is simple, but very important. Repeat. It takes time. Again. It takes time. Now, connect. I'm starting to understand. It just takes time. That is your journey. Now, let's bring everything together. Listen carefully. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. I didn't realize what was happening at the time. But then things started to change. And now, it all makes sense. I think I'm finally starting to understand. Maybe everything happens for a reason. And I guess it just takes time. You understand everything. You feel the message. You trust your understanding. And this is the moment where fluency becomes real. Now, pause. Take a deep breath and notice something important. You are no longer afraid to guess meaning. You are no longer stopping at every unknown word. You are flowing with the language. And that flow is what makes you a fluent English speaker. Now, Shay, let's continue and move into a deeper layer of fluency, where you begin to understand not just what people say, but why they say it. Because true understanding comes from intention. Sometimes, people say something, but they actually mean something slightly different, and fluent listeners can feel that difference. So now, we are going to train your mind to recognize intention behind words. Let's begin with this sentence. That's interesting. Now, this sounds simple, but depending on tone, it can mean many things. It can mean real interest, curiosity, or even polite disagreement. So, understanding English is not only about words, but also about how those words are used. Now, repeat after me. That's interesting. Again. That's interesting. Now, when try saying it in a curious tone. That's interesting. And now, in a slightly doubtful tone. That's interesting. Feel the difference. This is advanced understanding. Now, let's continue. I'll think about it. This sounds like a decision, but sometimes it actually means no, or maybe later. Repeat. I'll think about it. Again. I'll think about it. Now, imagine someone invites you and you say, I'll think about it. It sounds polite, but not definite. Now, let's go deeper. That might be a good idea. Again. This sounds positive, but sometimes it is uncertain. Repeat. That might be a good idea. Again. That might be a good idea. You are learning to hear intention. Now. Let's continue. I'm not sure that's the best option. Maybe this sounds direct, but it's actually soft disagreement. Repeat. I'm not sure. Again. I'm not sure. Very useful for polite communication. Now, let's go deeper. That's one way to do it. We saw something similar, but now, focus on intention. Sometimes, this means there are better ways. Repeat. That's one way to do it. Again. That's one way to do it. You are understanding hidden meaning. Now, let's continue. I guess that could work. Maybe could work is new, but the intention is not strong confidence. Repeat. That could work. Again. That could work. Now, imagine someone gives a plan and you say, that could work. You are not fully sure. This is natural English. Now, let's go deeper. I wouldn't say it's perfect. This means it has problems. Repeat. I wouldn't say it's perfect. Again. I wouldn't say it's perfect. Now, let's continue. It's not the worst thing. This means it's not great, but acceptable. Repeat. It's not the worst. Again. It's not the worst. You're understanding indirect language. Now, let's go further. I mean, it is what it is. Maybe this sounds strange, but the meaning is clear. Acceptance. Repeat. It is what it is. Again. It is what it is. Very common phrase. Now, let's continue. I can see why you'd think that. This shows understanding, but not necessarily agreement. Repeat. I can see why. Again. I can see why. Now. I imagine. I can see why you'd think that, but I see it differently. That is fluent communication. Now, let's go deeper. I wouldn't go that far. Maybe go that far is new, but the meaning is clear. Disagreement. Repeat. I wouldn't go that far. Again. I wouldn't go that far. Now, let's continue. It's kind of a stretch. Maybe a stretch is new, but think, something not fully believable. Repeat. It's a stretch. Again. It's a stretch. Very natural phrase. Now, let's bring everything together. Listen carefully. I can see why you'd think that, and I guess it could work. But I wouldn't go that far. It's kind of a stretch, and I'm not sure it's the best option. You understand everything. You feel the intention. You recognize agreement, hesitation, disagreement, and this is advanced fluency. Now, pause again, take a deep breath, and notice something. You are now understanding not just words, but meaning behind words. And that is what makes you truly confident in English. Now. So let's continue and move into one of the most important stages of your fluency, where you begin to respond naturally, without stopping, without translating, and without overthinking. Because understanding is only one side. The next step is response. And when you can respond smoothly, even with simple phrases, you become a fluent speaker. So now, we are going to train your mind to react in English, instantly, naturally, and confidently. Let's begin with this situation. Someone says something to you, and you don't fully understand, but instead of stopping, you respond calmly. You can say, I think I get what you mean. Even if you are not 100% sure, this keeps the conversation flowing. Now, repeat after me. I think I get what you mean. Again. I think I get what you mean. Very natural. Very useful. Now. So let's continue. If you are a little confused, but still following, you can say, that makes sense. I think. Repeat. That makes sense. Again. That makes sense. Now, let's go deeper. If you need a little time, you can say, give me a second. I'm just thinking. Repeat. Give me a second. Again. Give me a second. This helps you stay in control. Now, let's continue. If you want to agree, you can say, "Yeah, I see what you mean." Repeat. I see what you mean. Again. I see what you mean. Very common phrase. Now, let's go further. If you want to respond, but you're not completely sure, you can say, I might be wrong, but. Repeat. I might be wrong. Again. I might be wrong. This gives you confidence. Now, let's continue. If you want to express your opinion, simply, you can say, I think it depends. Repeat. It depends. Again. It depends. Very flexible phrase. Now, let's go deeper. If you want to respond politely, even when you disagree, you can say, I get your point, but I see it a bit differently. Repeat. I get your point. Again. I get your point. This is fluent communication. Now, let's continue. If you don't know what to say, you can still respond. That's a good question. Repeat. That's a good question. Again. That's a good question. This gives you time. Now, let's go further. If you want to show interest, you can say, That's interesting. Tell me more. Repeat. Tell me more. Again. Tell me more. Very natural. Now, let's continue. If you want to stay in the conversation, you can say, Yeah, I've noticed that too. Repeat. I've noticed that too. Again. I've noticed that too. Now, imagine real life. Someone shares something, and you respond. I've noticed that too. You sound fluent. Now, let's go deeper. If you want to respond with emotion, you can say, That must have been difficult. Repeat. That must have been difficult. Again. That must have been difficult. Very human. Now, let's continue. If you want to close a thought, you can say, I guess that's just how it is. Repeat. That's just how it is. Again. That's just how it is. Now, let's go further. If you want to respond casually, you can say, It happens. Repeat. It happens. Again. It happens. Simple, but natural. Now, let's connect everything into a real conversation flow. Listen carefully. I think I get what you mean. It depends on the situation. I might be wrong, but I see it a bit differently. Still, that's a good point. I've noticed that too. And, yeah, I guess that's just how it is. You understand everything. You can respond naturally, and you're no longer afraid of speaking. Now, let's go deeper one more time. I'll just say what I think. Repeat. I'll just say what I think. Again. I'll just say what I think. This is confidence. Now, say it again. I'll just say what I think. Feel it. Because now, you are not translating. You are not overthinking. You are simply responding. And that is fluency. Now, we pause. Take a deep breath and notice something. You can understand. You can feel. And now, you can respond. This is the complete system of English fluency. Now, let's continue and bring everything together in a deeper, calmer, and more natural way. Because at this stage, you are not just learning English anymore. You are building a relationship with the language, and this relationship is not based on memorizing or forcing yourself to understand every single word. It is based on trust, awareness, and flow. So now, I want you to slow down, relax your mind, and simply follow the meaning, just like you have been doing. Let's begin with a longer, natural thought. I didn't really know what to expect at first, and to be honest, I felt a bit unsure. But as time went on, things started to become clearer, and I found myself understanding more than I thought I could. Even if some parts feel new, you still understand the full message. Now, we'll repeat slowly. I didn't know what to expect. Again, I didn't know what to expect. And now, things started to become clearer. Again, things started to become clearer. You are following meaning, not words. Now, let's continue. There were moments when I felt confused, like I wasn't making progress. But then, something would click, and suddenly, everything would make a little more sense. You understand this feeling because you've experienced it? Repeat. Everything made more sense. Again, everything made more sense. This is your journey. Now, let's go deeper. I stopped trying to understand every single word, and instead, I focused on the overall message, the tone, the situation, and that's when things started to change. This is the key idea of this lesson. Repeat. I focused on the message. Again, I focused on the message. Very important. Now, let's continue. I realized that I didn't need a dictionary for every new word, because most of the time, the meaning was already there, hidden in the sentence, waiting to be understood. Feel that idea. Repeat. The meaning was already there. Again, the meaning was already there. Now. Now let's go further. I started to trust my instincts, even when I wasn't completely sure, and that made a big difference. This is where confidence grows. Repeat. I started to trust myself. Again. I started to trust myself. Now. Say it again. I trust my understanding. Good. Now, let's continue. I didn't panic when I heard unfamiliar words. I stayed calm. I kept listening. And most of the time, I understood enough to keep going. This is real fluency. Repeat. I stayed calm. Again. I stayed calm. And now, I kept going. Again. I kept going. Very powerful. Now. So let's continue. I noticed patterns, phrases, and expressions repeating over time, and without even trying, I started to remember them. Naturally. This is how your brain learns. Repeat. I noticed patterns. Again. I noticed patterns. Now, let's go deeper. I didn't force myself to remember. I simply exposed myself to the language, again and again, and slowly, it became familiar. Repeat. It became familiar. Again. It became familiar. Now, connect this to your experience. English is becoming familiar to you. Now, let's continue. There were still moments of doubt, moments when I felt stuck, but I didn't stop. I kept practicing, and little by little, I improved. Repeat. Little by little. Again. Little by little. This is your progress. Now. Let's go further. I didn't need to be perfect. I just needed to keep moving forward. Repeat. I kept moving forward. Again. I kept moving forward. Very important mindset. Now, let's continue. And over time, something changed. I started to understand English more naturally, more easily, and without effort. Feel that transformation. Repeat. I understand more easily. Again. I understand more easily. Now, say it with confidence. I understand English naturally. Very good. Now, let's bring everything together in one final flow. Listen carefully. At first, I didn't know what to expect, and I often felt unsure. But I didn't give up. I stayed calm. I focused on the message, and I trusted myself. I didn't stop for every unknown word. I kept going. And slowly, I started to notice patterns. Things became familiar, and little by little, everything started to make sense. Now, I understand more than I ever thought I could. And I know I can keep improving, step by step. You understand everything. You feel the meaning. You trust your ability. And now, you don't need to depend on a dictionary anymore, because your mind is already doing the work. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this lesson. It truly means a lot. And I want you to take a moment, right now, to appreciate what I just done. You didn't just listen to English. You experienced it. You followed meaning. You stayed calm. And you trusted your understanding. That is not something small. That is real progress. And the most important thing is, you are no longer depending on a dictionary for every word. You are learning to understand naturally, just like fluent speakers do. So, from now on, whenever you hear something new, don't panic, don't stop, just breathe, stay relaxed, and focus on the message. Trust yourself, because your brain is already learning, already adapting, already improving. And remember, fluency doesn't come from perfection. It comes from consistency, from showing up every day, and from practicing in a calm and simple way, just like you did today. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you can continue this journey with me, step by step, every single day. Keep listening, keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and I'll see you in the next lesson.